How good was that? Hawks fans at a wet MCG, Jack Gunston turned back the clock with a career equaling 7 goals as we smashed Melbourne by 36. His best mate, Luke Bruce, came on to a hero's reception, nailed one too in punky style. Dylan Moore, it was everywhere with 32 and 2 snags, if you don't mind. Finals are, they're a lock, all but a lock, pretty much. But bring on Brisbane at the Gabba. Here we are tonight with Lauren. I'm Matt. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. Keen to talk all about the Hawthorn Melbourne game. And as we look forward to finals, Loz, how are you?
Yes, very well. Thank you. Got to get down to the game, which was kind of the first Melbourne game to have been in a month or so. So it was good to get back to the G. Very, wasn't a huge crowd or anything, but it was great to, sitting in the M10 sort of area. So everyone was getting up and about for Brucey and Gunston and the old blokes down there who were having a game for themselves. So yeah, it was good. I felt pretty comfortable the entire day, which is something you haven't really felt in a while. Obviously, we did a bit last week against the Pies, but yeah, just felt a bit more relaxed and could really enjoy the win on the weekend, besides the last couple of goals which they kicked, which was quite annoying at the time, knowing percentage could be a big play at the end of this year.
Yeah, it was a tease, wasn't it? We briefly stepped into the top 4, and then percentage, the Collingwood game, Adelaide didn't quite go the way we wanted, but we're going to get right into all of that. So evening to a lot of our regulars. Great to have you, Kerry, Con, Brooke, Fred, cracking on. We have got hopefully a buoyant crowd amongst us tonight.
Yes.
Wouldn't this be nice? I like that, David.
Yep, we can have a chat about that soon. I've done a 5-minute analysis of the ladder to see what could happen after the end of next week's play. But yes, I did see one message saying, are we definitely playing? Well, you can't say definitely, but I think what has to happen is we get smashed by Brisbane and something like 100 points, and Fremantle. I think Fremantle would have to beat the Doggies by 100 points, I think, or something like that, to get in. So I'm pretty sure that that's the way it is. Someone in the comments can correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, it seems pretty likely nowadays. And yeah, as you said, we look to Brisbane because there is that chance for top 4, but it's pretty, there's a lot of things that have to go our way, but we can have a chat about that soon.
Yeah. Absolutely. We like the way, I guess, we've taken control, I think, is after a Demons game, albeit it would have been nice if we just really tightened it up in the fourth quarter and kept it powering on. But regardless, Gunners was beating the Ds early in the fourth. So with his 7 goals for, geez, he is sublime at the moment. Someone said it. Yes, Con, he'd have to be, wouldn't he? Come on, all Australian. Gunners, he's cracking a few smiles. He doesn't do that too much. Old mate Punk's out there, and he and Brucey enjoying the latter years, which is good to see. Welcome to you, North Queensland. We've got people from all over, which is great. So let's crack into the game a little. Give us your best thoughts, comments, questions, and we will have a crack at getting through as many as possible. If we don't get to it, ask it again, because the feed goes pretty fast as we crack on. So here we go. I like this one. To start with, Nick, Jarman Impey was definitely up there for mine as one of the best players. Loz, any thoughts on Jars? Because he's just doing it in the air, on the ground. He's just solid. He doesn't shirk a contest. His run is impeccable. He runs just to create space for his teammates. He runs and goes and gets it, gives it and then goes and gets it again. It's just his footwork, his foot skill is sublime. Thoughts on Jars outside of that?
Absolutely. He's definitely benefited a bit from having to really focus on his lockdown work at the start of the year when Hardwick was up forward. So he's playing that more lockdown role. And now that Hardwick's down back and Weddle's out of the side, he's kind of been able to, be sound defensively, but also, be that running carry the half back line, which we've definitely needed since the absence of Weddle. So yeah, I mean, he's having a stellar year. I think this will be rewarded pretty highly at the PCM. Everyone loves him at the club, and I think yeah, he's just having a great year. Another one that, you know, could potentially be talked about. Probably not for All Australian. I don't, even though we rate him and he probably could be in and around it. I think hopefully the All Australian squad will be a good honour for Jazzy after the year that he's had, because yeah, he's doing some great things. And as you said, yeah, that running carry so important, and his pace and yeah, what he's doing, he's really nearly having one of those career best kind of patches of form, I think.
I think you're right, and it's yeah, you make a good point around once Hardwick sort of was switched down back again, the permanent option. It has probably given him a new lease in his role, new lease on life, and he's doing it very well. But that back six looking very awesome. Sicily again, it's just week after week now. He's building a solid block. To the fans, what did you like about Sis's game, or the back six? Gives your thoughts, and we'll see what comes through here. And Brooke, while that's coming through, absolutely, mate. We had a lot of noise. I wasn't able to get to the ground, but reported that it was one of the loudest Bruce of the career. Was it the loudest you've heard, Lauren?
Well, because I was, as I said, in and around M10 where all the Hawks fans were. It was definitely loud from where I was. A few different songs for Brucey, which I won't repeat. I won't go for it here, but yeah, it was good to see. It definitely got loud when Gunson was, you know, kicking his 5th, 6th, 7th goal, and yeah, Bruce coming on and slotting, and even every touch there was big Bruce chants around the ground. So yeah, very happy for him. Hopefully, I think he could be, you know, I don't think this is his last game. I think into the finals, he could be a crucial component as that sub. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what role he plays for the rest of the season. But glad that he could kind of have a bit of a chill game before, you know, it really heats up towards the end of the year.
Absolutely, yes. When we talk about him, we've got to remind me next week and finals. But yes, thank you, Kerry, around the back. So I agree. He's just stood up. I don't think we expected. I know from Tim's chats with some of the players and catching. Sorry, I just mixed them up. Barras, I was thinking. Battle, absolutely. Sorry, Battle's been very, very good all year. I can't see us the role we give him. He stitches up just about every opponent, gives us run, gives us drive. Great.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's courageous. He doesn't really make many mistakes. He's very efficient.
No.
And we don't talk about him enough.
Yeah, no, I think Battle's kind of one that just works away every week and does his job. And as you said, really makes a major error. Obviously, been a great recruit for the side. Yeah, doesn't necessarily have the opportunity to do lots of fancy things, but yeah, his defending one-on-one has really helped this side and allowed, you know, not only for him to play well, but for others around him to be at the best and play their best type of game where they don't necessarily have to worry about defending one-on-one as much as they may have done last year. So yeah, loving what Battle has brought to the side. And I think Kerry's got a good point there, saying he's very brave and he's just very athletic, very, you know, pretty fast and can run all day for someone of his size. So I think, yeah, he's been so important to that backline this year, even if he's not necessarily getting the praise of even us Hawks fans, let alone the media.
Yep, I do love when he sneaks. He's approaching 450. He always gets that cannon of a leg out, and he's the eyes light up a little bit. I think he doesn't mind getting on the scoreboard. So hopefully, well, whatever he needs to do, he keeps getting it done. But good shout here, Sean. And this, to my point earlier before I mixed up their names, Barras, amazing season just for his body to get through what he's done, and just Mr. Reliable right down the back there. In terms of reliable, Scrim was right up there. I do love the man. He knows when to go. He goes hard. He's just really solid. That back six is just so tight, and it's what finals footy is made of. You know, you got aim on. You know, they'll link up across. You know, through to the wings. It's just looking very, very good at the right time of year. We've got a few comments here on CJ as well. Speaking of the wings. That's a compliment. There was a few others. I think he is just learning to play, I think, within his, what's the right term? Yeah, I think he understands the role that he needs to play and what to go after and push the limits. Anybody else thoughts on CJ? Because he can get different opinions from fans, and same question here.
I mean, you kind of have to give a bit of leeway because he's playing this sort of wing role, which he hasn't done heaps at AFL level. But yeah, he didn't stand out to me in a good or bad way, really, which is good because sometimes he does stand out in a poor way on the occasion. So, yeah, I thought he was fine. We can have another kind of question. I talked about this last week, talking about whether if Harry is fit, does he come back in for CJ? Because that was the initial change made to the side was CJ in, Harry out with his injury. Obviously, Harry's done that role basically the entire year. But yeah, it's another kind of bit to add a bit of more information for the selectors to see what they like. But Sammy doesn't often change the team after a win, especially he doesn't like to drop people, I don't think, after a win. So if Harry's fit, I don't know if he comes straight back in, but it'll be interesting for sure to discuss and see what the comment stays. I think a lot are coming in and saying CJ was on the wing, CJ should be on the wing instead of Morrison, which I think is interesting because last week it was a lot more people saying Harry would come back in. So
I think, I think Harry probably makes less mistakes. Like just if you look over, a body of work, it's just, although CJ tightening it up, it does make it hard for the selectors. So anyone else done back, I think that's probably a good wrap there. It's looking, all right. There's a few that don't mind Harry there on the wing. Amon as well, really solid. Yep, there we go. I think you're right, Jasper Rudel. I think it's that cool head and decision making. He does go hard. He used the Shirker contest, and I think that's it's far out of his game now as we sit deep in 2025. So, it's footy smarts. I think different athletes, what they're looking to bring, I think they would be given different instructions, even though they might play the same position on the wing.
Yeah.
There's times where CJ absolutely has to use his burst, and that would be encouraged, I believe.
I wonder, we had a quick chat about this, Matt, before we went live tonight, was about Weddle. He's supposedly tracking as well as he can possibly be. Obviously, has another scan soon, I think tomorrow, and we'll find that out either tomorrow or I guess on Tuesday, about whether he could possibly come back for finals. That'll be a discussion about who could miss out because won't be able to find the comment now, but there was talks about Scrimshaw and how well he's going at the moment, and he was kind of the one that ended up coming in for Weddle in a sense there. So I don't think Scrim can miss, but the backline's kind of settled at the moment. So that's another one we can throw out to the comments. Who do you think would go out of this side right now if Weddle were to come in for the first final? Oh yeah, there you go. Thank you, Matt. You found that so quickly.
Tell me the opponent you think. You've done the forecaster predictor. Who are we playing? Because I might make a decision that considers the opponent if I'm in the selectors box.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting one. I believe that if I'm saying we probably lose to Brisbane. Now I'll have a chat about if we do beat Brisbane, but if we lose to Brisbane, it's probably looking like we'll finish around 8th, and 5th will be someone like the Pies or Gold Coast. So I'd much rather the Pies. I would much rather the Pies. I think it's something like it's all percentage, so they'll probably finish on the same number of wins, assuming Gold Coast beat Port Adelaide and Essendon, and the Pies beat the D's. So assuming those things happen, it'll come down to percentage. So I think Pies are just in front at the moment, but if they smash the Ds, they'll go a little bit more ahead. But if Gold Coast come back and smash both Port and the Dons, they could go up to 4th. So if we want, if we want to play the Pies, which I'm sure we all would prefer to play the Pies instead of playing Gold Coast up there, I think we want to back Gold Coast in over the next couple of games to make sure they get up, and hopefully D's keep it close the next few weeks. But if we do somehow beat Brisbane, which I'm not saying is impossible, but I think it will be definitely a tough game. If we want to finish 4th, we've got to beat them, or 4th, or I think 3rd is even a possibility, but we'd really have to smash the Lions, and we'd have to hope that, similar position, Gold Coast and the Pies lose or don't win by a lot. I think that's another one. But yeah, that's kind of looking likely at the moment. I think, in my personal opinion, we'll probably play Pies the first week of finals.
All right. So
if that's it, who do you think would change?
I don't think it will be Scrimshaw or Weddle. I think they'll look at other options. Pies or Gold Coast, did you say? Or is that what you said to me at the end?
Yeah, Pies or Gold Coast, I think is probably likely.
Yeah. If it's Gold Coast, because they give us a little bit more trouble, and Weddle gives, whatever. That's it. We know who I'm talking about. Joe.
Yes.
He gives the opponents more issues than perhaps Scrimshaw might. I would probably like to see Weddle in if we're playing Gold Coast. If it came down to those two.
Yeah.
But I would be very comfy for Scrim to retain his role against the Pies right now. Might be a little bit controversial. And you probably want to have Weddle play into form. I think you look at the minutes. You want him to play, given he's just coming off in terms of injury. But I think Troy's, I find this hard to fold. If we play Brisbane next week, I'm not sure. Well, we do, sorry. I'm not sure if Punky stays in. But I think in finals, Punky comes back as the super sub.
That's what I tend to think as well. I think maybe, we go up to Brisbane without Bruce, but first week of finals, I think we could definitely see Bruce back there as a kind of wise head on the bench for majority of the game and come on and have an impact.
Sean's picking up my vibes tonight. I'm agreeing with a lot of what he's saying. So I think that's a good way to see Weddle come back in and ramp his minutes. So do we see Weddle come in a slightly different role? I think he's learned the game plan better and can contribute in different ways. We don't always need to see his, absolute gallop and trying to create and, gives a 80-meter, 90-meter run and kick. So we will see what happens. Do you think? Are we talking this week? Are we talking? Is it CJ? And did he do enough? CJ and going back and Bruce? Do you tend to agree there? With the smile, with the crying face, I agree with that as well.
Yeah, I think that would probably be the changes, but. It's really hard to know. I mean, we've kind of had to have this conversation every single week about the changes. And I've, compared to last year, I've been basically saying, I don't know. I could see it happening so many different ways. Yeah. And sometimes they surprise me at selection. And sometimes it's a bit more straightforward. So I'd like to have Weddle on the side. As you said, could be a good sub if he has to be on managed minutes. But you've got to make sure he's ready to go if you get an injury in the first couple of minutes. But Weddle's so malleable that he can go anywhere.
Yep. I don't know exact stats, but I'd say Harry's given us more goals per game on average than CJ in recent times. That's always a nice thing when it happens. Disposal efficiency as well. I would guess that Harry's just slightly up on CJ, and I think it's not just disposal efficiency, the decision making. I think Harry's had the games with the team, knows them really well, fits in nicely. So if we need to expose them though with speed, you never know. I think both boys are in with a chance. So not splinters. I'm leaning towards Harry, but What else have we got in the comments there? Loz?
Yeah, I'd like to have a chat, maybe just a little more in general about the game, particularly the midfield matchup. Obviously, Melbourne were once, a couple of years ago, that powerhouse midfield. Now they're still pretty good in there, but obviously aren't as good as they once were. We pretty close on the clearances, 40 to 35 with them up. But yeah, what I noticed is centre clearances 7 to Hawthorn and 15 to the D. So we ended up winning stoppage clearances, but we're still struggling at that centre clearance. And I think, this has been happening for a while now. Obviously, we beat up on the Pies last week, but yeah, we still seem to struggle a bit in the midfield, especially at those, centre bounces. So it would be interesting to see how that they're addressing that when we come up against, the best midfielder in the league, really, in Brisbane. I mean, Doggies are up there as well. But yeah, it's a very good midfield outfit, this Brisbane Lions group. So yeah, we probably wouldn't want to give them, that much of a lead in centre clearances. So yeah, it's an interesting one. What they're planning to do about that. I saw a few comments coming through from lots of different people about the use of Moore in there, which we saw a bit more of this week. Let me just have a quick look at
Dill's had 3 clearances.
Yeah.
So Warple, in terms of midfield, Warple 6, Nash 4, Meekie 4, Ward 3, Newcombe 3, Dylan Moore, and Guinea and Chol 3. And then we go down to CMAC with 2 and 1s from there.
Yeah. I wonder, Moore really had a good game on the weekend, and I thought he was quite effective when he went into the midfield. And I'm surprised, especially in those centre bounce attendances, I'm surprised he's not going in there more. He's only went in there 19% this week. I know he gets up and around the stoppage, so it kind of is acting like he's a midfielder, but I would really like to see, a little bit more time on ball for Maury. I think he could add, a little bit of dimension, and his body's sound. He can burst through tackles. He's very quick, and can run all day. So yeah, a few comments coming through I saw before about more time for Maury in the midfield, and I definitely agree. I'm not sure why we aren't pulling that plug a bit more to get him up around the ball. Since we already have some great half forwards, I feel like we can kind of take Maury out of that half forward line a bit more to put him up onto the ball.
Yeah, well, he's getting his shots at goal. He's when he needs, he's pretty efficient. He's happy to give it off. He's very generous like that. But I don't mind it at all. He's got the engine to go do those midfield minutes and bursts, which is his repeat sprint's very good. Albeit this week, in terms of the midfield, I thought Warple and Jai, Warp's a couple too many turnovers, both taking the game on very well.
Yeah.
But I did like Warple's game. I think he...
You did. You did. I just slightly disagree with that one, but keep going.
No, I think he gave us... he was winning some ball at times. Let me see.
He was.
Contested possessions. It was just a little bit enforced. 11 contested possessions from both Warple and Newcombe, and Guinea 12, which was really nice to see. He had a cracking game. We'll talk to Guinea shortly. I think the role they need to play, as soon as you saw Petrarca go into the middle, the dynamic changed in the midfield. Yeah. And we needed to really make some tweaks at that point. And Max Gawn, I'm like, come on, Mickey, he's stronger than him. Gawn just somehow has got these long arms, lanky arms, and he's able to get into influence that ball up when he's probably not entirely in the position or entitled to. So tough matchup. I think Meek did okay overall, but I think that changed the dynamic in terms of clearances. Are we worried about the hit out to advantage? I don't think so. I think we back our grunt in the engine room there in Nash and Warple and Jai doing some good work. So Jai had a good game. Pretty solid overall. He's really
solid without being, the best on ground. The thing with Warple, I just found he was getting the ball fine, which, you expect him to do. It's just that disposal. He went, when he first kind of came back at the start of last year, when we were relying on him, really lift us up when Daisy was out, and Newcombe kind of really hadn't come fully to his best form at the beginning of 2024. He kind of just was always hacking and disposing of the ball by kind of these no-look kicks, and Nashi does this as well. But it kind of went out of his game a bit towards the end of last year and the start of this year, but it's come back in. He just seems to be, a bit panicky under pressure again. I think, as you said, he's doing the things at the contest. He's getting contested possessions. He's tackling, all those things. But I just, would like to see his disposal improved a little bit. I mean, he went at, I think, 59%.
Yeah.
Which is just some frustrating turnovers for Warps. But it's might be playing on his head whether he stays or whether he goes, which coming to a point now where you lean to, okay, he's probably going.
You watch him a little bit through a different lens now, don't you? Last night, just how much is he engaging with his teammates and the emotions and whatnot. Anyway, definitely some upside for Warps, but I think he's coming along. His form has been worse in prior games this year. So see him get the hands on the ball for 27 disposals. It's a good effort. I thought, let's go to Guinea.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm not keeping up with the comments here, but I think the commentators might have mentioned he's gone from and I think that was slightly out, 10 possession a game to a 20 possession a game player now. We're definitely using Guinea in a different way. I think his run, even his mechanics, I don't know if they've been working on it. He's not doing that duck waddle that he used to do. That you see him when he's, the opposition, chasing him down, like, go, Guinea, go. But he's looking like he's running better for mine now. But he's smart. It's the way he sets things up, the way he moves and creates space. That he's constantly aware of what's going on around him. That IQ for mine, and having the ball in his hands more is highly valuable to us. And if opponents really line him up, we will, and wear him like a glove, we will suffer a little bit because he's been doing it quite a bit in the last, I would say, six weeks.
I agree.
Nicely this season.
Agree for sure. I think if someone wrapped up Ginnivan and he only had less than 10 disposals, it would really affect us. And I know internally he's pretty highly valued as someone with that high footy IQ. Someone who's played the most recent premiership winner on the list. So he does know a lot of things about football and what to kind of do and where to find the right kick. And we've talked about him now, we've tracked his journey from being dropped back to Box Hill and, taking that in his stride and coming back and playing, being in the best form of his career. So, I think that kind of whole line did well on the weekend. And C-Mac is another one we can probably chat about, who was up there in possessions and missed a few easy set shots, which was a little frustrating when we needed to capitalise a bit more, but he got a lot of the ball as well. So, those half forwards are working their butts off and getting the reward for it.
Yep. He'd do them in his sleep. He probably should have kicked with his opposite foot and he would have slotted more C-Mac last night. But I was glad to see him get one in the end. He had worked hard, as you said. Players have those games sometimes. The delivery, though, just as we shift, thinking forward, it was absolutely on a platter for Gunston, wasn't it? The way he
every time,
phenomenal. Like he just times it, gets that space from his opponent. But I think they loved just go, have a feast, dine out, Gunston on the Melbourne Football Club, and everyone was looking for him. And even just, I reckon it was about his 8th shot at goal or whatever, just that closer to 50, he almost had that little smirk, closer to 50, and he's on, the boundaries on his right-hand side where he'd had a few shots in the game. And he's had a look around and he's just smirked. He's like, I think he was told just to go for it. And,
of course,
like, I've had a look, fellas, but, come on, let's do this. And it's un-Gunston like for him across his career. He's very unselfish. So Loved seeing it, and he should have had 8 goals, which was just silly.
Well, he,
But
7-4. He had a bag of 10 left a bag of 10 out there. Especially there was a
he
couple
did.
there that you think he would have normally got, but he also kicked a few that were definitely pretty tricky. But yeah, he's just, what more can you say about him? He's probably going to finish top 3, top 5 maybe in the Coleman medal. Kicked the most goals he ever has in a year for his career. And
after 19 games.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say. Only 19 games. Like, it's crazy. And to think, he wasn't in the side at the start of the year is funny. But yeah, it's hard because, we're relying on him quite a bit at the moment, which is one thing. But yeah, how much can we rely on him next year? You think it wouldn't be as much, but we said this last year and look what happened. So he can prove me wrong again for all I care. But yeah, he's a valuable asset, and I'm surprised at how many games he's played. He's another one kind of like in Barras, in the sense that he's getting out on the field nearly every single week. Obviously rested that one kind of Gold Coast game, I think it was, but besides that, and not playing earlier in the season just because he wasn't supposedly in the team. It's really a credit to the medical department to get someone like, at his age, nearly as fit as he has been in 5 or 8 years.
Absolutely. Head's in the right space, is enjoying what he's doing, contributing. Had a dinner earlier in the season that he was at. He was just sublime. That was with gone blank on the name. Sorry, the Thornbirds, and who have sponsored Jack for many years. So he came and emceed the night, and it was just tremendous because he was just putting himself out there in the way you don't always see Jack Gunston, and just had some of the younger players there. He was just an absolute treat to be able to talk to and pick his brains for the night. So, was it interesting? Let's change tact a little bit here. Maybe Fred, maybe we'll see the Wiz and somebody not long after this. Was he managed? Sam mentioned it. John saying yes. Sam did talk about it. I'm trying to recall what he said in the presser. And it's not quite coming to me, but I think it's precautionary. So it's, in a nice spot where we can do that, but he only had the 3 disposals. So unwizard-like, he can sometimes be kicking 3 goals in 3 disposals. Wasn't his night tonight or last night, and to have Punky come on and light up the stadium was very nice. So all good on that front.
Yeah, I think I didn't actually catch the press conference yet, but I will watch it soon. But yeah, it did sound like Mitchell's been talking about in the press conferences over the last few weeks. When it gets to this time of year, you normally have a guy that you'd like to sub off if you're up by a comfortable margin, especially someone like Bruce coming on, and we knew what kind of energy lift that could bring to the side and to the crowd. So I think probably the back of their mind, they probably said, if we're up comfortably, around halftime, we'll look to sub, Watson off because he needs managed minutes, and next week it might be someone else that might need to be managed just slightly coming towards the end of the year and wanting to, be at their best for finals now. So, wasn't, you don't love to see someone as a bright spark as Watto to go off without really having an impact. But if it's for him to play better over the next couple of weeks, and that's what you want, that's what you need, then. And as you said, Bruce got on, and that's what we wanted as the crowd.
Yeah, totally. It's you moved on to CMAC, but I think Guinea. So I'm just reading a comment here about someone, John, loving to see Reed and the Wiz. So I don't know that we'll see Harley coming across if the Saints are going to lob 25 million at him for 12 years, reported. But it's Guinea almost first in the ear of the opponents when we do anything, isn't he? Hot off beating the Pies. He was kept that form up this week. Do like Jai as well out there like that, just a little bit, bit of a strut, bit of an alpha strut going on.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to cross over. Box Hill. Oh, actually, anything else, Loz, from the game that you wanted to touch on?
I think so. I know I spoke a little bit earlier about stoppage. The one good thing that came from it, so obviously not as much centre bounce, but I think just stoppage around the ground. We scored 7, 8, 50 points to their 2, 1, 13 points. So we did very well around the ground in the midfield and stopping them from scoring and getting our own scores from there. But they were able to match our scoring on turnover. So they actually beat us by 1 point of scoring from our turnovers, which is a little bit concerning because that, especially in finals, it's all about turnover because it's always high pressure and you're probably going to turn it over and you're probably going to turn it over quite a bit, as is the opposition team. So how you capitalise on that is a big part of it and how you can defend from that. So obviously we might have struggled a little bit to defend Melbourne's transition from turnover, especially, those last 3 goals. I think a couple of them were from our turnovers there. So, I think obviously we maybe ran out a bit of steam or just kind of being a bit more conservative towards the end to knowing that we've got the 4 points and, didn't want to get any injuries, which I think is fair in a sense. But, letting them get those few goals late from turnover didn't make the resume look as good as it could have been.
Absolutely. And then as our percentage points ticked away and we were getting further and further away from Collingwood in 4th spot at the time, it was nice. But I think I wonder if fatigue was a factor. It was some uncharacteristics, turnovers that from players that typically you rely on and trust. You're happy with them having the ball in hand. But all good. I think Box Hill, you were there to see Casey today. David's asking, are they in a bit of a slump? So we'll get to that shortly. But give us the wrap from today, Loz. You were doing your finest work out there.
So it was quite weird. I was working for Casey, covering the game for their team, but also secretly, wanting Box Hill to maybe get the win, or at least I wanted a close game, so that and hopefully Box Hill sneak over in the end. Because what happened was we went into this game at the start. We were on Box Hill were on top of the ladder, and the Doggies, who were second, were looking like they were going to win, but they had to win by something like 100 plus points to get us on percentage. And then what happened was they won by 120 points. So at about 3/4 time or half time, I think it was, I realized that, they got to get this win if they want to finish on top. And it didn't come after half time. Box Hill just really fell away. The pressure was quite abysmal, really. For this Box Hill team that I've kept a pretty close eye on this year, that have really dominated teams in patches, just could not get their game going and got absolutely smashed in the midfield, absolutely smashed. Jack Billings from Casey got 40 disposals, and Tom Campbell got the better of Reeves in many situations. Cam McKenzie only the 13 disposals. Hustwaite and Butler in the midfield were, I think, the leading disposal getters for Hawthorn on the day, but they didn't really stand out too much. It's definitely concerning for Box Hill, who are now got 2 losses in a row after only having, 4 losses for the entire year. So not something you want to see coming into the finals, but someone like Sarong, he had a very good game. He did some great things. I mean, he's just plugging away at Box Hill, and I think it's probably going to be pretty set that he will be leaving at the end of this year. I mean, I know nothing, but if someone of his talent, I understand why he can't get into the side at the moment. I think he could potentially play a role on the wing, which we've talked about, which is kind of a spot up for grabs. But I don't think we'll be seeing Sarong in horse colours next year, because he's just too good to be playing at that level. But Frosty was one that did something silly, and I think he's on report. So if it didn't look too bad, the player wasn't concussed, but big kind of jumped on top of a player when he probably shouldn't have, in a bit of frustration. And yes, heard he was on report. Whether he gets a week or something like that, we're not sure. But if he's out for the first final, that will be a loss, as he's been kind of playing forward and back down there. But it's an interesting one. So the second now, they still get the week off next week, as they have the playoffs match, 7 to 10 playoff to get into the final. So they get a week to recoup before they will take on Southport, I believe it is, at home, which will be at Box Hill, I presume.
Good wrap up there. Few comments here, Reva, others. Yeah, sadly, there might be a few changes at the end of the season, but I think we are finding out what we've got in our list. And yeah, sometimes it takes a new environment. You do bond to some players and you really want to see them, give them perhaps some more games at the top level for different reasons that we aren't always privy to. Sadly, we might see a couple of changes there, but I wanted to get back to Russell. I liked this. So we'll see what comes in, but pretty savvy eye for the game, Russell. I think that is a little concern. We have seen that, and I think it is something that's really, really important that it does get addressed. Fortunately, you know, when you have such a small injury list right now, like we do, you should have the guys with the fitness to run out a game. There's a question on Mitch Lewis earlier, and how we see perhaps him since his return. I think he's finding where his place is in this new forward line, and I think he's going okay. We're used to seeing him being able to dominate and be that central focal point in the forward line when he's up and about, and we've seen him really kick some nice bags and be very dominant. We're keeping them guessing with the speed that's coming in. Probably those. Yeah, it would be interesting. He needs a strong defender to hold him. And then there was times where he was getting double teamed. So that's helping our forward lineup if he's getting double teamed like that. You didn't see Gunston necessarily getting double teamed. Gunston was running where he wanted.
He should have been.
but that's the space they're creating for each other. So is it about, Chol the same? Would we love to see Cholly doing more? Yeah, because we've seen that he can take some games, and really make the most of them. But it's funny. I think it's just concentration and focus at times. He's that relaxed, like that shot on goals, like easy. Yep. I still don't quite have that full confidence, but I think it might be a focus thing. Mate, just pick out that person in the back row in the first section, right in the middle, and just because he's actually a really, really good kick when he kicks inside 50. Yeah. Anyway, so I think
speaking of Chol, I think he was being one of our most accurate kicks at goal this year. I know he's missed a couple, but I believe I saw some graphic on the AFL Instagram page talking about who's your most accurate kick for the season was, and that was probably a couple of weeks ago now, and it was Chol. So would be interested to know if that's the same right now. I think, but your point on Mitch Lewis as well, he is playing a role in the sense that he's taking away kind of their biggest and strongest defender, but not having the impact he'd probably like to have just yet. But I think the setup is working at the moment. I wonder if a Tall has to go, which I think if we go back to the conversation about if Weddle came in, I think potentially a Tall could go out if Weddle was brought in. And I think maybe,
you're right.
Yeah, I think maybe if it was up to me and I had to get rid of one Tall for next week, I think it might at the moment be Mitch Lewis. But it would be a conversation for sure. Just not kick as many goals, but it's hard when Gunston's stealing on the limelight.
Yep, and then Chol's giving us the ruck chop out. So
which has been important. He's really good in there.
Yeah. So interesting. Well, we look forward at this point in the season. Very excited to. I think we've given ourselves the chance we needed. Brisbane should be a cracking game. I don't think we're going to die wondering. I think we're going to know what the Hawks have got in terms of a brand of footy, because Brisbane's just bounced back very nicely after last week. They've probably been a little bit up and down, and I reckon they would be a little bit worried about us.
Oh, they should. Yeah.
It doesn't matter that it's up there. So it should be an absolutely juicy game, and do we have those 4 talls against Brisbane up forward? I would think we might not.
That's interesting.
Even though we've been tinkering.
Let me see. I'm looking at the weather. I mean, it's obviously a week out from the game now. It's not saying that it's going to rain. I think if there's any chance of rain, we could could see something like that happen, and I think that would be smart. I think we saw a little bit in the rain. Obviously, Gunston's not, I kind of don't like it being called Hawthorn's playing 4 tools, because Gunston's not really a tool in that sense. He's a lead up and mark the ball instead of crashing packs type of guy. So, I would, if it's pouring rain, I'd probably would not like to play all 3 of the Lewis, Deer and Choley. And I think Deer and Choley are the ones who are a bit more manoeuvrable, a bit more pace, and a little more silky in terms of their ball skills and work below their knees in the rain. So interesting. But you're right. That might be something that comes up for conversation. But I think, as I've said a couple of times now, Sammy sounds like he wants to back this tall model in for the time being. So if it hasn't lost yet, well, obviously it lost to Adelaide in a close one, but these last 2 games it's been looking pretty good. So I would believe they'd probably stick with it. But as you said, Brisbane are a formidable opponent on their best day. They're definitely the best team in it, and they've had some average games up there, even at the Gabba this year. So. But we haven't played them there in a very, very long time. It'll be a new ground for a bunch of those boys, I reckon.
Yeah, it's a 7:20 game.
Yeah, I don't have the
stats.
I don't have the stats, but I wonder how many of us have played there before.
Oh, true. 7:20 game PM. So I think there can be a little bit of wetness to the ground at that time of day. So yes, whilst you're looking at weather, still might be a little bit slippery. So my gut says Lewis, if they're not going with 4, would probably be the one somebody's asking him, keep Kelsh, or do you drop Kelsh? I think he's just too unpredictable, and not many defenders can get up as high as Kelsh. He's the way he's using those skills he learned in basketball, the tap, marks to himself. We don't see that very often, and it's something he's very adept at. So, cracking game ahead. So, Loz, we might just go into our predictions for the round to come. Let us know if you're going to get to the game, any predictions, and what your tips are, fans, because I think 36 points against the D's. I had a spy a little bit more. I had a spy 7 goals, actually, but we came out of the gates very hard, which was nice, very fast. So
Sean's just got a question here. Is the game on 7? Yes, I believe Channel 7 gave up the Essendon Carlton game to make sure they got this Sunday night game. So, I believe it'll be on 7, so everyone can watch that one, which will be good. I mean, not the final game for the season, because we know the Essendon Gold Coast play on the Wednesday, I think, after that. But basically the final game that really could mean something. We'd want to show up. What you wouldn't want to see is, a big loss just before the finals. That would really hurt the confidence of the team. But you want it to be, you want the win. They know what it holds for them. And the good thing is that it is the last, kind of the last game of the round in that sense. And they'll know what needs to play out to, if they can finish 4th, what percentage or how much they would need to win by. So it'll be a good game. I think most of Australia will be watching that one.
Yeah, well, Carlton's probably just played their grand final. They pumped Port. So Harry Mackay kicked 7. Gunner said, "I'll see your 7 goals. I'll raise you 4 points." Probably did kick 8 anyway. But I like that Army. Yeah. So let's go around the grounds here, Loz. 7. Gee, 7 goals.
That's confidence, John.
Happy days, John. John's got some intel. No. Yeah, there's some good signs here. People liking the Hawks. 5 goals would be great. Come on, bit of confidence, Anthony. Just give us your tip. Don't tell us. We know that'd be great. There we go, Tom. Very, very sound there. 136, Gunners 6. Look, that's probably not questionable at the moment. Kelsh with 4 would be nice, wouldn't it? Those 2. Getting it done out there. Yeah, tails are up. Look.
Yeah, I'm surprised at how confident everyone is. I mean, yeah, it's up there. It's at the Gabba. As you said, it could be a bit slippery on that night. If the Brizzy just played a very convincing game against Freo, who really needed to win, and now it looks like Freo could potentially miss finals if they don't. Well, they will miss finals if they don't beat the Doggies next week. So they had a lot to play for and couldn't get the job done. So it'll be a tough competition. I think, I said this about the Pies game, and it proved to be true. Needed, had to take our best win of the season, and it was. And it'll probably take our best win of the season again. Even if we just get up by 1 or 2 points, it'll be a massive, massive achievement. And it would be nice to go into 3/4 time being up and then have a sneaky look at the ladder and see if we could pop up to 4th or something like that. So, yeah, we'll see how we go. But I think, I hope we can get the job done, but I don't know if I can necessarily tip us.
Yeah. I don't mind this one, Jack, to kick the winner. I don't mind a win. There's a few saying just give us a win. I do think this is important, Shane. You've nailed it. Yeah, Dimmer. That's a really important job. Mr. Cameron. So get that job done. And I think we'll be halfway there. Loz, what's your tip? Any predictions?
I don't want to be the Debbie Downer and say we might lose, but I think
come on. Oh, sorry, we're having problems with Lauren. She can't quite. Sorry, I can't hear you. Go on. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, our best footy can definitely bring it to them. I think if we played our best and they played our best, I think they might just have us beat just by a bit. But who knows what can happen? They love a challenge. They really do. What they like to, they loved it at the end of last year where they had to win all these games to make finals. And they've kind of talked about it as, we've got to win all of these games to finish the best possible spot we can. So I know that they will be trying their best and really wanting to win, next week. So I'll say if we win, we'll win in a very close game by 1 point.
Very good. I like this by Trust Cards. Yes. They kind of don't like the Hawks, do they?
Kingy, I can't really talk about it. That'll send me into a sting. But yeah, Kingy does not like the Hawks. I like what he does in the media in a sense, but as soon as he talks about the Hawks, I don't tend to want to listen.
Yeah, I agree. He's just got that. I think he's just was a bit burnt from his playing days.
Yeah.
I think the Hawks will get up by 14. I think Dill's going to do another 20 and 2 goals. Dylan Moore.
That would be nice.
I was liking that. And I'm going to have Jack for just it's a quieter night for him. It's going to be 4 goals, but yeah, I think the Hawks by 14. So let's all be cheering if you're getting there. Have an absolute ball, make a lot of noise. Fingers crossed, Punky, if he is in, just has another super sub performance if that's his role.
Yeah,
I think he'll be key in finals and enjoying that with old mate Benjamin Button. So to one and all, thanks for having the time tonight to talk about this game. Keep an eye on the socials. We'll get some articles out and whatnot. And the pod, not sure if we're going to get the pod out this week. I've had a few challenges with different things going on. So everyone, have a good night and we'll catch you again. Go the Hawks.
Go the Hawks.